I get panic attacks, and then my blood pressure raises and my heart races, and then 1 minute I'm manic and 1 minute I'm angry, or I'm sorry the way that I look.
How does a global pop sensation adored by millions of young fans become a figure marked by turmoil, heartbreak, and an untimely death? Aaron Carter's story is a haunting reminder of how fame at a young age can come with devastating costs. From platinum albums and TV appearances to family drama and public battles with addiction, his life was a roller coaster few could have predicted. This is a tale of talent and tragedy, where personal demons often overshadowed the spotlight. Early stardom and breakthrough before most children have found their place in school or formed lasting friendships, Aaron Carter was already making headlines as a child star. Aaron was part of a large family that included his twin sister Angel and older brother Nick Carter, famously known as a member of the Backstreet Boys. Following in his brother's footsteps, Aaron started singing professionally at an astonishingly young age. By 9 years old, he was opening for the Backstreet Boys on tour, an early taste of the big stage and the fame it brought. 1997 marked a critical milestone, the year Aaron signed his first record contract and released his debut album. That album went on to sell over 1 million copies, a staggering achievement for any artist, let alone one so young. The early success only fueled his momentum, setting the stage for what seemed like an unstoppable rise in the music industry. Talent, youth, and charm combined to make him a star, adored by teen audiences everywhere, with posters of him plastered on bedroom walls across the country. Aaron's career blossomed as the new millennium approached. In 2000, he dropped Aaron's Party, Come Get It, an album that became emblematic of childhood for many in the early 2000s. Songs like I Want Candy and That's How I Beat Shaq became anthems of youthful energy and fun. The album's cover, with Aaron in a jean jacket against an American flag, became instantly recognizable, a vibrant image imprinted in pop culture. For many, these songs weren't just background noise. They were part of daily life, dance routines, and the soundtrack of youth. Beyond music, Aaron crossed over to television and modeling, becoming a fixture in teen magazines at the height of his popularity. His presence was larger than life, and he even appeared on shows like Lizzie McGuire and Sabrina the Teenage Witch. One iconic childhood moment remains etched in the memories of many: his mistletoe kiss on Lizzie McGuire, a scene replayed endlessly by fans and emblematic of his youth star appeal. This crossover from music to TV solidified his status as a multi-talented entertainer. His early career also had a distinctly personal side. Aaron dated some of the era's notable young stars, including Disney's Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan, relationships that kept him in the media's eye and embedded him further in young Hollywood culture. Success seemed limitless for this young performer. Yet, with this spotlight came pressures and challenges that few could have anticipated. While his early trajectory suggested a bright future, the roots of struggle quietly began to surface, even in these formative years. The discrepancy between childhood fame and normal development planted seeds that would grow complicated over time. Being thrust into the adult world while still a child, Aaron faced a unique set of challenges in navigating identity and expectations. These challenges would later play a critical role in his life story. Family was another of the defining factors in Aaron's life. He shared his childhood with the ever-populous Nick Carter and a number of siblings, the major part of their lives being negative family dynamics that often came along with the young people's success. The Carters were a warm and yet a bit messy family, with Aaron's hovering experiences mixed up with the bright side of his brother's fame, the dark side of the public eye living, and the family's everyday struggles. The family context was a double-edged sword. It offered both support and tension as Aaron's career progressed. Underneath the glamorous facade of a teen star, the cracks were already appearing. Cracks that indicated, among others, the issues of power, money, and personal rights were not very far under the surface. However, at this time still, Aaron was known to everyone as the boy, a future pop star whose journey was quite sure to be one of continuous victories. At the time, however, the radiant young genius was only the opening act of a life story that was way more complicated than the fans could perceive. Aaron's peak years brought undeniable success and unforgettable moments that would capture a generation's attention. Peak popularity and iconic moments. Between 2000 and 2002, Aaron Carter's star shone at its brightest, fueled by a series of platinum albums and hit singles that became cultural touchstones for many young fans. After the success of Aaron's Party, Come Get It, he quickly followed with Oh Aaron in 2001, which also went platinum and cemented his place as a pop culture phenomenon. The album cover, featuring Aaron in an orange shirt and a necklace, was instantly iconic, an image that many remember vividly, proof of his pervasive presence in early 2000s pop music. In 2002, Aaron released yet another album, Another Earthquake, continuing his streak of catchy tunes and infectious energy. During this period, he was not just a musician, but a visible figure in teen culture, seen often in popular magazines like Teen Beat. His style, personality, and music appealed to a wide audience, especially pre-teens and teens who found in him a voice for their own experiences and feelings. His songs often carried playful, relatable themes, and his performances brimmed with youthful enthusiasm. This era was also marked by notable cross-media appearances, further broadening Aaron's appeal. He guest-starred on multiple television shows including Lizzie McGuire, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Seventh Heaven. The visibility of these roles contributed to his fame far beyond music, making him a household name. The mistletoe kiss with Lizzie McGuire is remembered as a defining television moment, emblematic of his cultural impact during these years. Aaron's personal life, aside from music and acting, was still the subject of media attention, mainly to his relationships with young actresses from the Disney world. Such connections were the reason for his constant presence in the media and also contributed to his image as a teen idol. He was constantly in the press with his youthful charm and public romances, and soon the fans and tabloids became so interested that they could not help but follow the whole story, which ended up coalescing his private life with his public persona. Still, even when he was at the height of his career, there was something about Aaron that called to a very young and innocent part in his fans. His music was full of playful fun, but at the same time, it was a subtle indication of the pressures of growing up in the light of the spotlight, which he never wanted. The glamour of being a pop star was a great temptation to many young people, but at the same time, it was an extraordinary life which most could not even begin to imagine that Aaron was going through as he was navigating his teenage years. The time when he reached the peak of his popularity was also a time when he could make money, but the issues that arose behind the scenes made things very difficult. Even though Aaron Carter had already reached the level of multi-platinum, later there came reports about mismanaged finances, a fight that is very common among young celebrities whose incomes are of parents or managers who don't care much about their welfare and are not always acting in their interest. Aaron would later accuse his mother of mismanagement of his money during those formative years, accusation she would deny, but which, nonetheless, highlights the complexity of his personal and financial life. Amid the fame, success brought with it growing attention and demands, which also meant less privacy and more scrutiny. Aaron was torn between the need to project his public image and the private conflicts that were gradually coming to the fore. The pressure of being a child star and a teen idol was both exciting and tiring at the same time. The years during which he had great fun and made great achievements were soon over, and he was facing a period of difficulties that would test his endurance more than anyone would have expected. His road from chart-topping albums to personal turmoil is like a revelation of a hidden, deeper story underneath the glamour. The struggles Aaron would face were connected in part to the turmoil stirring within his personal and family life. Signs of struggle emerge. As Aaron transitioned from child star to adulthood, Cracks in the polished facade began to show, revealing a series of personal and family struggles that complicated his life and career. By 2004 and 2005, Aaron had started to speak publicly about disputes with his mother, Jane Carter, accusing her of mishandling the money he had earned as a minor. These allegations, though denied by Jane, ignited early family drama broadcast across public platforms, adding strain to an already fractured dynamic. This period also saw Aaron and his siblings appear together on the reality TV show House of Carters in 2006, a short-lived series meant to showcase reconciliation but marred by sibling tensions and challenges. The show's brief run highlighted the complexities and conflicts underlying the Carter family relationships. Meanwhile, his older brother Nick was busy recording with the Backstreet Boys, casting a long shadow and creating an intense backdrop to Aaron's struggles. Around 2008 and 2009, Aaron's professional momentum faltered. His participation in Dancing with the Stars in 2009 brought some renewed visibility, but his performance on the show was overshadowed by legal and personal troubles. Not long before his DWTS appearance, he was arrested in Texas for speeding, and a search of his car revealed more than 2 ounces of marijuana. The incident was publicly reported, along with a statement from his manager apologizing for any embarrassment, painting a picture of a young man already wrestling with legal and personal hurdles. Aaron's legal issues didn't end there. In 2017, he was arrested in Georgia for driving under the influence and possession of a small amount of marijuana and substance paraphernalia. Aaron claimed that he was targeted due to his fame, but the incident added to a growing pattern of public struggles with substance use. These legal brushes served as sobering reminders that the challenges offstage were escalating and threatening his life and career. Despite the legal problems, Aaron started to admit the existence of personal fights at a deeper level. During the interviews and TV appearances, he talked about his mental health issues like schizophrenia, manic depression, and severe anxiety, as well as substance dependency, which have tormented him for a long time. He also talked openly about the negative self-image associated with the body shaming, which had a detrimental effect on his self-confidence. The continuous admissions to rehabilitation centers in 2011, 2017, and 2022 highlighted the gravity of his woes and his continuous attempts to get rid of them. Additionally, family disputes became worse. Aaron's sister Angel and brother Nick, who are twins, applied for restraining orders against him around 2019, mentioning increasingly disturbing behavior, including making threats to the family. The sacrifice of this love-hate between the family was made public, and the emotional and psychological difficulties that had gripped the family were exposed. The family's internal conflicts, which were once obscure, were more so presented in the media and social networks, thereby worsening the situation. Tragic personal losses were the source of additional turmoil. Leslie, Aaron's sister, succumbed in 2012 to an apparent overdose, and his father died in 2017. Both deaths influenced him heavily and added to his suffering and despair. Such sorrowful happenings literally made the mountains Aaron had to climb every day higher and harder, thus deepening his personal crisis. Aaron's life was a roller coaster ride. Even though he tried to press on, he was in such a tight spot financially that he could not see the way out. He declared bankruptcy in 2013, listing his debts in millions of dollars, mainly for past earnings and unpaid taxes. Every moment he lived was a struggle as he tried to keep the decline into obscurity from the spotlight, the emotional turmoil, and the financial problems under control all at once. Aaron's decline was very apparent, but the reasons of his suffering were very complicated, mixed with domestic conflicts, mental health problems, and the disadvantages of being a child prodigy. All these factors would continue to influence the course of his life in a very deep way. Even as his life became more complicated, Aaron made efforts to keep performing and reconnecting with his music, reality TV, and legal troubles. Aaron Carter's public struggles intensified as he tried to navigate a career that was no longer soaring as it once had. In 2006, he joined the reality show House of Carters with his siblings, a series meant to show them reconnecting after years of distance and difficulty. However, the show barely lasted 8 episodes, reflecting the ongoing tensions and fractured relationships within the family. Far from providing a comeback, the program exposed cracks and unrest, foreshadowing further personal challenges for Aaron. By 2009, Aaron was seeking new outlets and platforms for attention, including a spot on Dancing with the Stars. This appearance placed him back in the public eye, but also coincided with a turbulent time in his personal life. Around this period, legal troubles began to surface more prominently. In 2008, Aaron was pulled over in Texas for speeding, and a search of his car revealed over 2 ounces of marijuana. This incident marked the beginning of visible legal issues intertwined with his struggles. The statement from his manager at the time, emphasizing that Aaron was en route to Florida with his dogs to a large ranch, painted a contradictory picture of a star with stability on the surface, but deeper instability underneath. Aaron expressed regret publicly, but faced the real consequences of his actions and the scrutiny that came with them. Such legal entanglements hinted at difficulties managing life offstage. His encounters with the law were extensive rather than singular. In May 2017, Aaron was arrested for DUI in Georgia. On this occasion, only a little less than an ounce of marijuana, along with other substances, was found. Aaron accused the police of picking on him because he was famous, but the incident served to illustrate the ongoing drama of his substance problems that he didn't try to lawfully manage or avoid. What was reported through the media and arrests were just a little of the battles underneath. By the end of 2000s and through the 2010s, it became evident Aaron was dealing with significant mental health issues apart from legal problems. His visits to rehab, like those recorded in 2011, 2017, and 2022, were testimony to the struggle he was going through to regain control over substance abuse and mental health. These efforts are indeed a torturous, long battle to heal and make one's life stable. During this period, Aaron became more open in public about his personal wars. He disclosed receiving such diagnoses as schizophrenia, manic depression, and acute anxiety, in addition to having to deal with the negative effects of online body shaming on his body image. These confessions made it clear that Aaron was a person who was very complex and vulnerable, and openly fighting his battles in a public arena, which is often very unsympathetic. Simultaneously, family discontent escalated. In a startling twist, Aaron's other half-angel and brother Nick got a court order against him in 2019. They mentioned actions that they considered more alarming than ever, including the threats to the family members. This split up through a public lens the whole animosity and the emotional instability that had been residing deep down and just needed a little push to erupt. The breaking of these strong bonds was a bitter experience for Aaron, exposing the personal drama that had been alongside his downfall. The legal struggles, as well as family, became the other's hurdles as he was sucked into addiction and mental health crises. The fact was that the problems of Aaron were not only limited to the stage and legal system, they were also present in his most intimate relationships. Behind the legal problems and reality TV cameras, Aaron's battles with his mind and addiction formed a powerful, painful narrative. Mental health and addiction battles. Aaron Carter's honesty about his mental health struggles revealed a man overwhelmed by conflicting forces in his life. He openly shared that he dealt with diagnoses including schizophrenia, manic depression, now known as bipolar disorder, and acute anxiety. These layered conditions brought both highs and lows, where periods of intense energy could be followed by deep depression and confusion. Mental illness, coupled with addiction, made his path extraordinarily difficult to navigate, especially in the unforgiving spotlight of fame. Substance abuse was a constant, dark companion in Aaron's adult years. He revealed having struggled with inhalant abuse, a dangerous and often overlooked form of substance use that attacks the brain quickly and severely. His history of huffing compressed air cans began as a teen and resurfaced repeatedly, underscoring the chronic nature of his addiction. The rapid, intense effects of inhalants create a compulsive cycle that many find nearly impossible to break. Aaron's public attempts at rehabilitation, including multiple stints in treatment facilities, marked sincere efforts to combat his addictions. In 2017, he wrote on social media, "Only I can change my life. No one can do it for me," reflecting a desire to take control amid chaos. Yet the repeated relapses highlighted how deeply ingrained and challenging addiction can be, especially when combined with complex mental health issues. His experiences were further complicated by family trauma and loss. The death of his sister Leslie from an apparent overdose in 2012 devastated Aaron, as did the passing of his father in 2017. These personal tragedies added layers of grief and pain that fueled his emotional instability and substance use. Trauma of this magnitude can exacerbate existing mental health challenges, creating a cycle of suffering that is hard to interrupt. The additional pressures from public scrutiny and body shaming only intensified Aaron's struggles. He was open about the pain caused by negative commentary on his appearance and identity, which compounded his anxiety and self-esteem issues. Such relentless external judgment made self-acceptance harder, limiting the emotional support many need in recovery. Aaron also faced battles surrounding his sexual identity. He revealed he was bisexual, a fact he shared publicly in an attempt to embrace honesty and liberation. While courageous, this openness also exposed him to further criticism and misunderstanding from fans and the public, placing him under yet more pressure during a time of personal fragility. Despite hardship, Aaron still managed to find creative outlets and momentary clarity. He was part of a cast in the pilot group, which was filmed in 2022 and presented a fictional version of him confronting mental health stigma. Through this, he expressed his suffering and his wish for a change in the story. Just 1 month before his death, the pilot's shoot was a very emotive reminder of his contest for life. The intricate and confusing mix of addiction, mental illness, family troubles, and public scrutiny formed a situation that was very difficult for Aaron to recover from, despite his many attempts. All the factors involved were like a vicious circle that made him feel even more alone and hopeless. His fight was like a reflection of the heartbreaking, complicated world that people have to face without being rescued, even the famous and the well-off, where the most powerful light casts the most profound shadow. Even as Aaron fought his inner demons, the pain within his family and personal relationships only grew more profound. Family conflict and personal loss. The Carter family's story is one marked by both closeness and profound fractures, and for Aaron, family conflict became a defining and painful part of his life. In 2019, his twin sister Angel and older brother Nick filed restraining orders against him, citing behavior they described as increasingly alarming, including threats against family members. These public legal actions exposed a rift so severe it shocked fans and underscored the depth of Aaron's struggles beyond the spotlight. The devastation of fractured family bonds added layers of isolation and heartbreak to an already turbulent life. Those restraining orders followed distressing accusations. Nick revealed that Aaron had confessed to thoughts of harming his pregnant wife and unborn child, while Angel also expressed fear over threats Aaron allegedly made toward her family. These revelations painted a picture of a man grappling with emotional instability that carried real consequences for those closest to him. The public airing of such private and painful details illustrated how profound the family crisis had become. Aaron's post on social media was a combination of resistance and hopelessness. He mentioned being done for life with his brother Nick and showed an unnerving nonchalance towards the restraining order. However, accusations were exchanged with Aaron, claiming Nick had been abusive to women, which Nick refuted. The poisonous storm of accusations that siblings exchanged was a manifestation of a family that was profoundly and painfully divided. On the other hand, the financial problems of Aaron increased the chaos. He declared himself bankrupt in 2013 when he had debts of more than $3 million. Most of this was related to taxes on his earnings as a child, which was a huge challenge for the kid star as he was in the middle of a very delicate situation. He had made millions overnight, but was still in a harsh reality of big debts. Even as family turmoil engulfed his life, Aaron persisted in his efforts to find his footing and rekindle his career. Attempts at comeback, Despite the many challenges that consumed Aaron's life, he never fully gave up on his music or the possibility of making a comeback. In 2015, Aaron returned to the studio to work intently on new material, showing a level of dedication and focus that hinted at hopes of revival. His final album, titled Love, was released in 2018 and represented a matured artistic vision amid the chaos surrounding him. This period revealed a man still clinging to his creative identity and the passion that first launched him into stardom. Aaron's 2022 tour was a testament to his enduring commitment to performing despite the hardships he faced. However, even these shows were accompanied by challenges. Reports surfaced of a small group of people who would follow him from one amphitheater to the next, heckling and casting shadows over his performances. The persistence of public scrutiny and criticism, even in live settings, exemplified the relentless pressures Aaron endured. Publicly, Aaron was also increasingly open about his sexuality, revealing that he was bisexual. This admission was significant, as he expressed wanting to lift the burden of secrecy and be honest about his identity. He shared that from a young age, he had been attracted to both boys and girls, and that coming out was part of a broader journey toward self-acceptance. This openness added complexity to his public image, but demonstrated his willingness to live authentically amid ongoing struggles. His personal life was still full of ups and downs, among them an erratic relationship with Melanie Martin, the mother of his son. Losing his child's custody was a huge disappointment, but Aaron still managed to fight his personal demons while facing the realities of being a father. These events highlighted the conflicting requirements of raising a family and at the same time suffering from very painful emotional wounds. In 2022, the month of October saw Aaron joining the cast of the TV series pilot named Group, which portrayed him as a fictional character trying to overcome mental health stereotypes. The initiative, shot only a month prior to his passing, served as a glimpse into his longing for transformation and healing. The soliloquy he uttered, recognizing the blame on his youth, the situation, and family, reflected the emotional intricacy he was ready to reveal even when approaching the end of his life. Theater and public connection were his ways of success, showing both the quality of firmness and the trait of weakness. But Aaron's addiction and mental health problems were the ones that often impeded his progress. Each turnaround was intertwined with the ups and downs of addiction treatment, which made the path ahead unclear and full of trappings. Aaron's ongoing fight with addiction and mental health would tragically lead to his unexpected passing, leaving a legacy both of brilliance and heartbreak. Tragic death and legacy. Aaron Carter's life came to a shocking and heartbreaking end on November 5, 2022, when he was found unresponsive in the bathtub of his home by his housekeeper. At only 34 years old, his passing sent waves of grief through fans, family, and the entertainment world. The initial shock was compounded by the questions surrounding the circumstances of his death, fueling widespread confusion and sadness. Aaron's untimely passing marked a tragic conclusion to a life filled with both extraordinary success and profound struggles. The autopsy findings from the medical examiner's office in Los Angeles County, classifying Aaron's death as accidental drowning, were announced officially. The inquiry earned that the toxicological analyses disclosed that there was a presence of various substances in his body, including inhaled chemicals, mostly from spray cleaners, and substances like alprazolam that the patient was prescribed. Cumulatively, these substances have the potential to lead to heart-related problems and breathing difficulties, which might result in death. The combination of these factors depicted the dark side of his long struggle with addiction and mental health issues, culminating in disaster. Only a month following Aaron's death, his former fiancée, Melanie Martin, was once again given custody of their son, Princeton Lyric Carter, who was affectionately called Prince. The custody ruling had earlier been changed because of the parents' domestic problems. The whole incident brought to light the issue of the difficulties that the deceased's family and friends had to deal with in continuation, and the consequences of Aaron's personal life and battles. The situation with the child, however, was no less of a burden on the family's saga than it had been with Aaron's demise. Once again, the tragedy hit the Carter family in the year which followed Aaron's demise, when his sister Bobby Jean, often referred to as BJ, also passed away due to an accidental overdose. This terrible event brought to light the very addiction and early death which had been the family's curse and had been haunting them for years. The deaths of such multiple siblings at extraordinarily young ages brought to the very surface the deeply rooted problems that plagued the Carters behind the scenes and beyond the public's view. Aaron Carter's rise and fall remind us how early fame can come with unseen costs. His story is one of immense talent shadowed by personal and family challenges. If his journey moved you, please like this video and subscribe for more stories that explore the lives behind the spotlight. Thank you for watching, and check out the next video on your screen.